Words in their best order. That's how poetry is often defined by one of the finest poets of our time, William Wordsworth. Welcome to Sarwili YouTube channel. Today, we're going to look at the poem, I Met a Thief. It's written by one A.S. Bukenya, a poet of poets. Welcome, and let's go through this poem together. On the beach, on the coast, under the idle whispering coconut towers, before the growling foaming waves, I met a thief who guessed I had an innocent heart for her to steal. She took my hand and led me under the intimate cashew boughs which shaded the downy grass and peeping weeds. She jumped and plucked the nuts for me to suck. She sang and laughed and pressed close. I gazed. Her hair was like the wool of mountain sheep. Her eyes a pair of brown-black beans floating in milk, juicy and round as plantain shoots. Her legs, arms and neck, and like wine guards her pillowy breasts. Her throat uttered fresh banana juice, matching her face smooth and banana ripe. I touched, but long before I even tasted, my heart had flowed from me into her breast. And then she went high and south and left my carcass roasting in the fire she had lit. A.S. Bukenya. What a poem, what a poem. Now, in this particular poem, Bukenya gives a scathing description of what happened at the coast. Most possibly, I want us to do a quick analysis of this particular poem and see how symbolism, simile, metaphor, and other styles are used. Now, I met a thief. As somebody was stolen from you, something dear, something you loved. Possibly, you won't feel good about it. In this particular poem, the poet meets a thief. This encounter happens on the beach at the coast. This brings us to a description that can direct us on how the two were dressed. Most possibly by the beach. The man was having a vest and a short, and the woman was having a bikini. So what happens is that under the idle whispering coconut towers, an aspect of personification is used. How? The coconut towers are given the human quality of whispering, which means there was a shame, you could feel the sounds in the background. Now, whispering coconut towers, that is an aspect of personification. Before the growling and foaming waves, I met a thief who guessed I had an innocent heart for her to steal. Line 2, she took my hand and led me under. Now, assume these people were at the coast, and then the thief takes the hand of the persona and puts it under. Under where? It says, the intimate cashew boughs which shaded the downy grass and peeping weeds. Now here, the poet uses an aspect of symbolism. The peeping grass and the downy grass and peeping weeds. Now, obviously we know if she was putting on a bra and a small pant, it means if the persona put his hand where there were peeping weeds, it means it is down the private region and she could feel the pubic hair. So symbolism is used for the pubic hair. The poet has said downy grass and peeping weeds, and then the intimate cashew boughs. Now, cashew nuts normally look like beans, and the private sections of the woman are symbolized, or symbolism has been used to describe them in a hidden manner, to overtly cover what they actually mean. She jumped and plucked the nuts for me to suck. This particular line, the poet says that the thief jumped. Why is she jumping? It's because one hand is down there and there's pleasure building up between the two. Therefore, out of the pleasure, the thief jumps and plucks the nuts for him to suck. What are these nuts? Possibly, the persona was having an intimate contact with the thief. And therefore, normally women have at the back of their bra a snap. And when you remove it, then the bra can fall down. So the thief plucked the nuts, allowed him to suck the nuts. She sang and laughed and pressed close. I guessed her hair was like the wool of mountain sheep. The use of like. Her hair was like the wool of mountain sheep. That is a use of simile, like, comparing her hair to that of mountain sheep, which means they were beautiful, they were curly, and they were long. And back to this stanza, she jumped and plucked the nuts. Nuts here represents breasts. That's another symbolism. They symbolize the breasts of the thief. And then her hair, an aspect of alliteration, of course. And down there, her eyes a pair of brown black beans floating in milk. The repetition of the sound b, b, brown black beans floating in milk. So floating in milk. Milk is also symbolism. Why? Because milk is nutritious. And at this time, when the persona and the thief are almost intimate together, they are having a close contact. Therefore, in this case, the milk there shows how nutritious, how enabling the closeness felt to the persona. The persona felt like this would be his food. He would eat and get nutrients from this food. At that time, he felt this was like a pair of brown black beans floating in milk. So ecstasy was already jumping into the persona's life. Juicy and round as plantain shoots. Again, another aspect of simile. Her legs, arms, and neck, and like wine guards, her pillowy breasts. Okay, like wine guards. Like, of course, the use of simile. Like one, they are compared to wine guards. Guards are normally large. This therefore says that the upper body, the breast of this particular thief, were large and succulent. Pillowy. Pillowy represents, that's another use of symbolism. A pillow is normally soft. You want to lay on a pillow, especially when it's cold at night. You want to rest your head and feel good throughout the night. And therefore, the pillowy nature, the soft, tender, encompassing, something you want to be close to. That's exactly what the persona felt when he interacts with this thief. Her throat uttered fresh banana juice. Another aspect of symbolism. The fresh banana juice symbolizes the romantic and beautiful words that the thief was saying. So from her mouth she would talk and say nice things. Normally when ecstasy and intimacy grows and builds up, then the two must exchange intimate words, beautiful words like honey, darling, that's okay, that's beautiful, that's the best chocolate I've ever tasted, you are the best. So beautiful words. Fresh banana juice symbolism. Matching her face, smooth and banana ripe. So banana ripe, another symbolism, an indication that the thief wants them to go to the next level, or feels like ecstasy has built, the intimacy has built. I touched, but long before I even tasted, my heart had flowed from me into her breasts. This means that the persona feels like this would be his whole world. He doesn't want any other thing but to get in touch with this thief. He feels like nothing matters. His heart is used for pumping blood. But now the whole of his heart, the whole of his life work, the whole of his desires were now narrowed down to the thief. He wanted the thief by all means. His heart had flowed. That's an aspect of exaggeration, of course, as a style in poetry. And then she went high and south and left my carcass roasting in the fire she'd lit. She went high and south. Possibly, this thief was not here to stay. Wanted to build up ecstasy and leave the persona suffering from the build-up. And it's evident that the persona describes himself as a carcass. Why? A carcass is normally stinking, is normally dead, out of life. After the build-up of tension, the persona feels like now there's nothing more. Life has been degenerated because he wanted the ecstasy to build up into pleasure. But the thief has gone high himself, which means they're not able to finalize what they began together. His carcass, disappointment, carcass, death, the destruction of life. He felt like life was beginning to form when they were close with the thief, but now the thief has gone high himself. He has a carcass roasting. Why roasting? Because of the buildup of ecstasy. They had expected to quench the thirst for each other, but what happens is that the persona remains alone when the thief goes high himself, leaving the persona roasting, leaving the persona suffering, leaving the persona tormented, leaving the persona feeling like the world was coming to an end. Why? Because his desire, his milk, had already gone high and south. By Austin Bukenya. What a poem. For more analysis of literature, set books, and poetry, visit Osaru Willy YouTube channel, the channel with the difference. Welcome, thank you, and always remember to hit the subscribe button in order to get the best of the best here at Osaru Willy Literature. For today, we've said enough. See you at another time when we do more. Goodbye.